What up, con folks out there? You are watching or listening to another episode of Listening 3D, episode number 31. I'm your host, Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool.
And I'm Netta, aka Wondrous Net.
And together we are both Team 3D, the host of Listening 3D, where we dissect, discuss, and debate the music and the albums in the world of hip hop and other genres. If you like what you're seeing, do us a favor, help us out. Be sure to like this video. Give us a comment. Any feedback is greatly appreciated. Share it around. And most of all, subscribe. If you do subscribe, help us out one step further as if you click on the notification bell. That way you get notifications when all our videos go live. Um, we do value your time, so if you do really want to help us out, watch a short or two on our channel. They're less than a minute. It'll really help us in the YouTube algorithm, in terms of getting this podcast more and more hip hop and music fans out there. So, we really appreciate the support so far in terms of what we've been getting. Um, if you want to podcast the show, we are on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and I guess the soon to be YouTube podcasts. I don't know. They're doing something weird with their podcasting system right now. And then if you want to email us, listening3d at gmail.com. Pretty much the show up there, all one word at gmail.com. So thank you once again for, just having us, for just spending the time with us to watch what we got to talk about today. So with all that out of the way, Netta, you got anything to say?
Not really. I'm excited to be reviewing this album.
Well, I think the South has something to say. If you know what I'm talking about. All right, let's just
Yeah.
get into it. What are we talking about today?
So today we'll be talking about Outkast's third studio album, Aquemini. It was released September 29th, 1998. It was certified 3 times platinum. It peaked at number 2 on the R&B and hip hop album charts and number 2 on the Billboard Top 200. It had singles including Skew It on a Barbie, Rosa Parks, and The Art of Storytelling Part 1. There were music videos for all of the singles, and they had guest appearances from Raekwon, George Clinton, The Goody Mob, and Erica Badu.
All right, thank you so much for that. So the Outcast, once again, if it's just two guys or two people in a group, I don't really consider them a group. I consider them a duo. I mean, I don't know, how do you feel about that, duo or group?
I think duo is probably more appropriate when there's two. Yeah.
Okay, so duo. So Outkast is arguably probably the greatest hip hop duo in hip hop history. Consists of members Big Boy and Andre 3000, who I know he was going at Dre for a little bit, but then I guess he changed it to Andre 3000. They have studio albums, going from the mid 90s, up through like the mid 2000s, I think was like their last one. People have been wanting, Andre 3000 to return to music, and what does he do? He puts out a flute album, so or jazz album. Sounds. I've heard a few songs on there. Sounds pretty good, but I know we're not talking about that right now in terms of music. But I mean, for the most part, they're from Atlanta, Georgia, and I would have to say early on, like with Outkast and the South in general. I know in terms of other Southern acts, you got UGK and the Ghetto Boys, Scarface. I They were played a bit on the West Coast, maybe not as much as their later stuff, but in the mid '90s, going back to their previous album, ATLians. I hope I said that right. Yeah, they had a few tracks from there that I would hear occasionally, but I think this album was they were kicking in the doors of the mainstream, but they weren't there yet. I personally think the next album and the album after that is what put them over the top into the whole rap pop world. But I don't know. I mean, I mean, you could agree, disagree. What are your thoughts?
Um, I think the album where they had Sorry Miss Jackson, that's the one where I actually started to really know them. Like there's a couple songs on here. Actually, there's one song on here that I knew, but I didn't associate it with Outkast. But Miss Jackson, I actually, I knew that song and I could put a face to a name by that time. So maybe they were just bigger superstars by then. But that's what if I think Outkast, I think I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. So
Yeah, that song you're talking about is Stan. Yeah, the album Stankonia. That's the name of that album in terms of yeah, I think that's the one where it's like they really started to get noticed, but just but when they're coming up, and one of the songs we'll get into a little later, just um spoiler alert, I guess, but um yeah, we're yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting in terms of going through this album. And like I said, a lot of people who listen to them early on would probably argue that this was their best album. I want to definitely, spoiler alert fans, I want to do some more Outcast on here. Maybe not anytime soon, since we have a lot of artists to get through, but we will be doing some more Outcast. So don't y'all worry about that. So anything you want to add?
I think a lot of people, especially people who are early fans of an artist, they just, in their heart, and I do it too. You just feel like, man, that old Nicki, that old Drake. Like it's something that just sits with you. It's kind of nostalgic in a sense, and
Yeah.
especially when you knew the person before they were huge. I think that just really sits with people. So I can see why people really enjoyed this album.
Yeah, I mean, I think aside from this artist, I think I'm guilty of it as well when it comes to a few of my other favorite artists I like, which we'll be getting into, in a few episodes from now, or maybe even the next episode. You never know, but all right. So let's get into the artwork. What were your thoughts on the artwork here?
I really like it. And I read that a guy from Ohio actually drew it. So shout out to him. He was from Columbus, Ohio.
Right on.
Um, I like how they just kind of threw in the whole kitchen sink here. You got pimping, UFOs, astrology, hieroglyphics, and it's all like wrapped up in like a 70s package. So I really liked it. I think their strength is in their versatility, and they really show that off on the album cover. What did you think of it?
I think it's definitely really very cartoony, but I mean, I like it for the most part. It's, you got their logo, their famous like their crown logo right there that says Outcast. You can barely see it, but you have that. You have a Cadillac. They talked about Cadillacs and pimping like a lot on their first album, and definitely like the whole alien thing. That was more their second album. I mean, this was like kind of like a new beginning for them, and then you got them both right there, and you got the ladies, definitely like '70s pimping, gangsta stuff going on. So that was pretty cool, and then definitely the title itself, Aquemini, just combining what they are, with I believe I forget which is which. I think Andre was Aquarius, and then no, Andre was no, Big Boy was Aquarius, and Andre was Gemini. So yeah, I don't want to get the zodiac signs mixed up, but I thought it was pretty clever. I mean, I don't know. We can rename this show. We can go. I'm a Scorpio. What are you?
I'm a Cancer. I don't know how you combine those. A Canio,
Canpio or Scorpser?
Scorpser.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Never mind.
It doesn't have the same ring to it.
Not at all. I figured I'd try, but yeah, never hurts to ask. All right, so let's get into the beats. It was a very well produced album. What beat really stood out to you?
I liked a lot of them too. I thought the beats were great, like almost all of them, and I really liked Slump and Chonkyfire. But I landed on the Art of Storytelling Part Two. That was my favorite one. I have a question for you for your how you pick your beats. When you're picking, do you listen to the instrumental portion or do you just pick based on hearing the song?
A little bit of both. Well, if for the most part, the instrumental. And I don't want to go off topic here, but I think there are a lot of fabulous beats on albums that we listen to that like the previous episode, I believe it was Doggy Style, Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. I think Ain't No Fun was the best beat on there, but I didn't necessarily didn't think it was the best song. But I think when it comes to a beat, I definitely listen to the instrumental. Then I give the song a listen. If I feel it's a solid song, it could be one of my favorite songs. Sometimes it's not. Maybe because I've heard it too many times, or just I thought the song could have been a little better in my opinion. That's how I choose beats. Really, just based off the instrumental, just something I can vibe my head to, and definitely of all the beats, best sounding.
I
Speak. Oh, go ahead.
when I sometimes like if the lyrics are like too fire, I'm
Hmm.
like, oh my god, like am I picking because I just really love the lyrics or do I really like the beat? So I have to try to mentally isolate the beat, and I'm wondering, like do I like the way the beat sounds or do I just like the song? And I could listen to the instrumental, but I feel like part of a song having like the best beat is the harmoniousness between the beat and the artist. But when the two are clicking, it's really really good. And that's what I thought about the art of storytelling. I thought the beat
Yeah,
and his voice was like
yeah,
really clicking together
it was
really well.
the Art of Storytelling was a really good single. Yeah, we one of these days we got to do a instrumental album. Maybe we could do some Kenny G, go over some good jazz beats or something like that.
That would be cool. What beat did you like on this one?
um, like the Return of the G beat. I thought I thought that beat went hard. It was a good song too, but it also wasn't a good beat, and I thought it was just a great way to kick off the album for the entertainment that we were up for. But the two you mentioned,
Agreed.
Slump and Chonkyfire was also good. I really like the Art of Storytelling, and Synthesizer was a good one too. Wasn't one of my favorite songs, but I thought that was done pretty clever. Also, a lot of great beats on here.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into if I pull up my app. Let's get into the singles. So let's speaking of the Art of Storytelling, let's start with that one. I thought it was a very well clever song, very well done. I like the lyricism was good, and the music video was good too. The only thing I did not like about the song is after watching the music video, why didn't they have Slick Rick on the album version? Seriously, why didn't they? I don't understand that. Like, maybe he's on there the single version if you go out and buy like the 12-inch record or something. But yeah, it's I don't know. Like I thought he killed it in the music video. Like, and they're giving it up to the old school as well. Slick Rick is an icon. And spoiler alert, people, we will be doing a Slick Rick album, not anytime soon, but he is on the list. uh, but what were your thoughts on the Art of Storytelling?
I enjoyed it. I really thought it was the best video because you can like see a story within another story because you got the Outcast puppets who they're like they have a performance, they're on stage, and then they're painting the Outcast artists, and then the Outcast artists who are being painted
Yeah,
are painting the stories they're actually telling in the song. So I thought that was like the best possible illustration of the art of storytelling
yeah.
you could possibly find. So
I, th-
I loved it.
I think of all the videos, and all of them were kind of out there during its time. Because one thing about this whole album in general, it was experimental in what it was doing. You know, yeah,
Yeah.
and it inspired a lot of people. Today, like Kendrick Lamar, for example. I know he took a lot of inspiration from this album. So they're doing like a lot of experimentation, and I think that song, it did have the best video with the painting, the puppet show, all that stuff. Definitely the most creative of all the videos, I feel. And
Yeah.
but definitely a great song, and yeah, just Andre 3000 boy, yeah, talk about.
Their hair in here was notable to me. Andre had like some finger waves with a ponytail, and
Yeah.
Big Boy had like a wrap. Uh, it was a really really good video. And then when they say we just shoot game in the form of story raps now, I really loved it.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the second single we'll talk about, which is Skew It on the Barbie featuring Raekwon. I thought this was a pretty solid song for the most part. Three verses. I think on Raekwon, killed his verse, the second verse for the most part. One of the best guest appearances on the whole album. And Andre did his thing. Big Boy did his thing. I like Big Boy did his thing. Excuse me. I like Big Boy's third verse. How he goes, "I gotta hit the source. I need my other half of a mic because that Southern playalistic Cadillac music was a classic, right?" So, College Park, East Point, and the Couture, they got my back. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty solid song. Solid verse by Big Boy. And as for the video, just I thought it was average at best. Just on a stage. I mean, it wasn't like a live concert or anything like that, but I think they could have came up with something maybe a little better. It was still a little out there, especially Andre's white outfit or whatever he was wearing.
Yeah, he had white hair, white sleeves, white furry shoes, and some ski goggles, ski boots. He was all
I
over the
think that
place. He
was he
had
wearing a skirt. I think that was a skirt he may have been wearing. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
I think it was. I thought it was a skirt at first because I looked closer and I think it was just white furry shorts. But it wouldn't be unusual if he did have a skirt on. This was the most eye catching outfit I've seen yet on one of the music videos we reviewed. As for the song itself, I really I liked the beat. I thought it was a funky song. It was my least favorite single, but my favorite line is when Andre says, "I'm a star. I'd rather be a comet by far." I liked it because even though comets have like a shorter lifespan than a star, they live a way more dynamic existence.
mm,
They follow highly elliptical orbits around the sun, which causes them to pass the sun really closely and really they pass the sun like when they're really close to the sun, then they pass the sun when they're really far from the sun, and they're very rare. Like sometimes they disappear for thousands of years. So I really like that, and it's probably true of him. Like he's kind of once in a generation talent, maybe even more rare than that. So I really like that analogy.
oh yeah, that's definitely great analogy on that. So we're gonna move on to the third single. This was my favorite single of all the singles, by the way. Definitely the I think the most important one. Also, maybe one of the very iconic song in hip hop history, Rosa Parks. So I just got to read this hook. Hush that fuss. Everybody move to the back of the bus. I'll stop it right there. That's what they're going for, right? I mean, everyone. I don't want to get into U.S. history or anything, but everyone knows what Rosa Parks is famous for. Black woman who refused to move to the back of the bus, to not give her seat to a white woman on a bus. So, I mean, I think it says a lot in terms of just of how far we come and everything like that. So, and just very symbolic too, then, just a song that, in my opinion, just never gets old in terms of just playability. And not to mention, it has a pretty nice beat as well. And, that harmonica solo that they had going on at the end, I thought was pretty cool also. Um, Very very iconic. What were your thoughts on Rosa Parks?
I liked it. It's very nostalgic for me. It's the song that I said I recognized it, but I never associated it with Outkast. When I was a kid, I just heard it,
Mm.
and as a kid, I didn't even think about Rosa Parks at all when I was singing it. I was just like, I don't know, like, it was like, it was just a fun song to me. But
Yeah,
now that I see the connection, I'm like, oh, I didn't take that seriously at all. But
yeah.
I like when Andre 3000 comes on and he says, when the record player get to skipping and slowing down, all y'all can say is them niggas earn the crown.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, this, yeah, I really love that. And again, on the video, I was like, what the hell is Andre 3000 wearing and why does he look so good in it? He like has
Uh,
he has football gear and big colorful furry pants. He just manages to pull off anything he puts on.
yeah, yeah. If he That guy's a character, let me tell you. As for the video, I thought it was like a little bit futuristic, and then you can kind of tell like with the whole drumline thing that they're doing. They're definitely putting some of their like southern roots into it. At the end of the day, also. So it was definitely all
Yeah.
over the place. A little futuristic, maybe not too much like the Jetsons, but futuristic enough. I would have to say I liked it a little better than Skew It on the Barbie, but I mean, because that video I thought was just I thought it just could have been done better. But I would have to say of all the music videos, Art of Storytelling definitely was the best one. They just should have had Slick Rick on the album version of the song. Just saying, just
Yeah. This one was like the mid tier one.
yeah,
They had the marching band and the step show. It looked fun.
yeah. That definitely a southern thing. All right, so with all that out of the way in terms of the singles and the beats, what are your three favorite songs? I think I have an idea, but
So I liked Return of the G, Synthesizer, which I heard you say was not one of your favorites. Very disappointed. And
it was a good
the
song. It was
art
a
of
good song.
okay, the art of storytelling, part two.
All right, we got one in common. Return of the G. The other,
Okay.
all right, the other two I went with was Slump and Chonkyfire.
Okay, I really love Chonkyfire. I can't blame you for that. And
Yeah,
and Slump was one of my favorite beats, so
yeah,
we're kind of on the same page.
yeah. And then honorable mentions was Aquemini, Rosa Parks, and then I had a few others here also. I also liked Y'all Scared, but I just couldn't make it one of my favorites. It just had, I mean, I like the Goody Mob, but it just, just too many features. I usually try to put that into play also, like when I select the favorite songs. Like, did they have too many guys on there? Yeah, that's why I can't do it. Like, and then just yeah, Y'all Scared was a honorable mention, and yeah, I also had Synthesizer as an honorable mention as well. But and then the
Oh,
singles were
okay.
yeah, but yeah, the singles. I mean, every song on here was fire, and I mean, I know we usually do this after we talk about the singles we like, but the only song I could probably go without is probably that Spotty Oddie Dopalicious. It was just too long. Really, it was just a length for me. 7 minutes. I think that's and just average at best.
I liked what was it? Skew It on a Barbie. It was okay, but that was probably
Oh,
my least favorite. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, of the singles, definitely my least favorite of all of the singles. Like a video was mid tier, but yeah, yeah, it's the single itself. Yeah, just yeah, I'm good. All right, so let's start with "Return of the G." What'd you like about the song? I'm a little surprised
Um.
that this was actually one of your favorites, by the way.
Oh, really? No, it was really good. He said, every time I try to get a piece of mind, niggas try to get a piece of mine, so I got to grab my piece. He's
Yeah,
kind of speaking to this internal struggle of trying to be at peace while always feeling like you had to look over your shoulder. And then he's talking about why he had to return to being a gangster, return to the gangster thanks to the niggas that want to run up in your crib, the niggas that think you soft, and that you're
Yeah.
singing gospel music, and he niggas who don't take care of their kids, and he's saying people get the wrong impression of Andre 3000. They think he's we're in a cult. They think he's on drugs. They think he's gay.
Yeah.
He in addition to rapping about bitches and switches and clothes, he wants to talk about time traveling and rhyme javelin and something mind unraveling. But he has to return to be a gangster. So I really love the concept.
Yeah.
Why did you like it?
Yeah, definitely the concept, definitely saying return of the G, gotta show them that we still hard because, they came with that hard flavor, several albums back, but so, they had to prove to people that, hey, we can still do it, I mean,
Yeah.
they're just shutting the haters down. And, sometimes I think artists do got to have a song like that where they just block out the haters and just be like, hey, do your thing. Just do your thing and you'll be fine. And then, the lyricism in the song was good. I think Dre and Big Boy both killed it. Yeah, I would have to say I like the Lethal Weapon reference, kind of like Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, strictly for the caddy lovers, and never the nut hugging punk motherfuckers. That's how he ended that verse there, Big Boy. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a
Big,
Lethal Weapon
big.
fan. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought Big Boy had a very good bar on there. He says sticking together like flour and water to make that slow dough, and I really loved it. It was like a
Hmm.
simultaneous acknowledgement of how different he and Andre 3000 are, but how well they're able to work together, and they're kind of talk about slow and steady wins the race. So I thought this was a great line. I loved that. That was
Yeah,
my favorite line on the song.
yeah, and that's the unique thing about Outkast, the fact that they're so different, yet they were able to just do it. Just make it happen and make it work. Um,
Yeah. And they see the strength of that in one another. Like sometimes these artsy people like Andre, they might not see the strength in the Big Boy, and
mhm,
sometimes vice versa. But they see the strength in each other and they play off of it,
mhm.
and they made magic together. So
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
they're a great team. Hopefully, we can get them back in the studio one last time for one last album. I'm sure the Outkast fans would love it. All
Yeah.
right, and then yeah, and then singing together too. Not no, hey, this is yours, this is mine. Like speaker box. Yeah, that album. Yeah, yeah. We want you both together. uh,
Right.
all right. So let's get into one of your favorites. What do you like about synthesizers?
Oh,
Synthesizer. Yeah.
now this one might have been my favorite one off of the whole album. It's
Okay.
like they're exploring the ethics of technology, and they're critiquing what they think might be going too far in technology, because we have so many technological capabilities, but what's too far? And Andre says, synthesizer, microwave me, give me a drug so I can make 7 babies, pump my breast up, can you suck the fat up? Please make my life appear like there ain't no such thing as bad luck. My nose ain't right. I think I need a new one. And he's just. It reminds me of some things I listen or I watch, like Black Mirror. It's like a
Hmm.
constant critique of technology. It reminds me of like the Unabomber, because he's like he
Oh God.
represents like the extreme version of critiquing technology. And it's like, as technology advances, we keep having to ask these questions. So I really loved it. I've never heard really a song ask these questions, so I really loved it.
It's a great song. Just couldn't crack the top three. It came close. I mean, it was my honorable mention. I do like George Clinton's appearance on there. I think he kills it. It's kind of like combining not so much old and new, but old and what we think the future is going to be, and that's the real concept I got out of it. There was something
Yeah.
definitely ahead of its time. Looking back on it now, wait, because no one was doing that back in '98. Let's be real.
That's true. That's the other thing that's very impressive about it, is like he's talking about a lot of stuff that the people are doing today, like laptops with like kind of like OnlyFans, and getting,
Mm.
I guess, breast reductions and breast what do you call it? Not what's the opposite of reduction? enhancements.
Yeah.
They were popular back then, but now they're crazy popular. And being able to adjust genetics, adjust your DNA, just doing all of this stuff, and he's kind of seeing that in 1998.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah, that definitely 98. That was just unheard of during that time. All right, so Slump was also the song that just really stood out to me. I like the Big Boy's second verse, how he stops out, shit, cops and robbers, niggas be bound to get them dollars and cents. They get in a slump like baseball players when they short on their rent. So I think that was a good song that overall just kept with the flow of the album also. And I know they had some accredited features on here also, Backbone and Cool Breeze, but for the most part, it was a great song. They great beat also. I think they all killed it in terms of their performance on the song. Do you have any thoughts on Slump?
Yeah, I thought throughout the album they're kind of encouraging people, don't be in the streets. And on that song, he says, "Continue to sell dope, paying bills," or he says, continue to sell dope, paying the bills, so you gonna do it. But legislation got this new policy: 3 strikes and you're ruined. So
Yeah,
he's trying to dissuade people from doing that, and using his own knowledge of what's going on. So I thought it was a pretty good song.
yeah, definitely. It was one of your honorable. Well, you like the beat too, right? One of your favorite beats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really like the beat.
And then, what was your last favorite song? The Art of Storytelling.
Um, yeah, the artist
So
storytelling part
we're
two.
part two. So what do you like about part two compared to part one?
I like that he's just turned into an environmental activist on this one. He's like, Mama Earth is dying and crying because of you. Mama Earth is tossing and turning, and that's a sign. He goes into a more religious thing that I didn't really understand that much, like apocalyptic kind of stuff. And he talks about UFOs landing in Decatur. I didn't know too much about that part, but I really like the environmental part of it. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, definitely. It was. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like the single version of it better, but definitely it goes into more. Seems like it went a little deeper than the first song for the most part. I thought it was kind of weird how they'd have part one and then part two, not original version of like a remix or anything. But then again, it really wasn't a remix. It was like a continuation, just a little deeper. I thought that was pretty cool. Then
Yeah.
the last song I'll talk about, Chonkyfire, which was the last song on the album. It's funny. I like the first song and the last song on the album were my favorites. Definitely. I like the end of it where like I was saying at the beginning of this episode, the South got something to say. Definitely, I you know let's be real about it. Like when it comes down to it, the South, they got booed because at the what was it, the 1995 Source Awards, because they got Best New Artist, beating out some hometown favorites. I forget the name, but you know, big boys. He's trying to go on the stage. Try to be polite. And then Andre 3000. That's when he pretty much goes off. I have a quote right here, but it's like this though, and then that's how he pretty much begins. I'm tired of folks, you know what I'm saying. Closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying. We got a demo tape and don't nobody want to hear it, but it's like the South got something to say. That's all I'm gonna say. And with this whole East Coast West Coast, rivalry, beef, whatever going on. If there was one true winner of that whole rivalry, it was the South. Because it pretty much kicked off, what they were going to do, and after that, I feel like more people started paying attention to them. So you listen to a song like Chonky Fire, just talking about their story, their uphill battle, and from where they were, several years back to where they are now. In some cases, I don't think it was this song in particular. I think they said somewhere throughout the album, like, this is like our first album, really. Like, not to throw away what they'd done in the past, but, I definitely feel like it was more of just a, wake up call, look how far we've come kind of song in terms of, Look at us now. Like, hey, no one knew about us then. We were getting booed in New York. Now you got New York artists like Raekwon working with us, kind of like that. Any thoughts on Chonkyfire?
Yeah, I liked two parts on that one. I like when he talks about kind of exercising discernment, but he says it in a little more bombastic way. He says, know when to bless a situation, when to grab the chrome. And I also liked when he says, I cordially invite you to an emotion filled theater, because, that's kind of what this album
Yeah,
was. And I really liked a great emotion filled theater. So,
yeah. It
yeah.
it was very great. Very great album overall. And then we already went over our least favorite cuts, which was for me, Spotty Yachty Dopalicious, and for you, Schooled on a Barbie, which was one of the singles actually. But very solid album. Kind of hard to decide. Everything else on there, definitely great. Let's see. So there were no expansions or cuts. The only cut I guess I could say was watching the music videos. Where was Slick Rick in the sort of the Art of Storytelling Part One anyway? So I mean, I've got to gripe about that. Otherwise, recommendations. I got to shout out the Goody Mob. So if you want to listen to some more Goody Mob, definitely still standing. Definitely check that one out. Another artist that was similar to Outkast during that time, Most Def, Black on Both Sides. If you want to hear something a little similar to this, check that one out. And then I know we recommended her a couple episodes back, but Erica Badu, Baduism. I know Andre 3000 and Erica Badu were dating during that time, so I think he took a little bit of inspiration from her. So definitely check that one out also. Anything you want to add to recommendations?
No, I don't really have any recommendations, but I like how, just my final thoughts. I like how they managed to blend so many worlds together. They're pimps, they're environmental activists, they're ethicists, they're motivational speakers. They're fathers, they're brothers, and they take all of that and they made music out of it. And I think it's just as refreshing as it was in 1998 today.
Yeah, this album definitely, if you're looking for some good music today, out of its time, ahead of its time, and I think probably still ahead of its time, definitely check it out. I do not know, and as we go through this series, when we listen to more Outkast albums, I do not know if this is going to be, if this is their best album or where I'd have it ranked at. I mean, I know a lot of people have it at number one, a lot of people have it at number two. For me, it's I don't know, but all I can say is great piece of work, excellent album. So definitely check it out. I would recommend it to any hip hop fan, old school or new school today for the most part. So that's final thoughts I have. So I know you are taking some. What tracks are you taking back to your playlist?
Oh, for sure, Synthesizer, and Return. Really, all my favorites: Synthesizer, Return to the G, and the Art of Storytelling Part Two. I love them all.
All right, for me, definitely taking back Return of the G. Uh, then Chonkyfire. I'm also going to take Slump back. Oh, Synthesizer was one of my honorable mentions, so I'll take that back. And then Y'all Scared also, I'll take back. Definitely all the other songs were, very solid. Well, I mean, I'll probably listen to them from time to time again. So, that's our thoughts on Outkast Aquemini. Thank you for watching or listening to episode 31 of Listen in 3D. What did you guys think? What are your favorite tracks? What tracks did you not like? Did we get it right? Let us know in the comments. For Netta, I'm Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool, and saying thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.